This famous sports figure will be the subject of our...
My guest, Don Amici. Nice to see you again, Don.
Thanks, Rocky. I'm glad to see that nose is all healed up the way it has.
You know, you were the first person to see the nose as badly as it was. And that was our meeting. It's a nice way to meet Don Amici. I'm in a dressing room after the second Charles fight with a nose that they tell me it wasn't half there. And I met Don Amici, who came into the room, and I know you looked at it and just walked away. It was a pleasure to get with you later on, though.
Oh, yeah. Gee, as a matter of fact, Rocky, I must say how wonderful you were to me that night. Only your dad and myself were in the room at that time. Well, I don't know whether you probably don't remember it.
Yes, I do, Don.
But,
it was...
all the excitement that there was outside, all the reporters waiting out there, and I'm the guy that walked through and got in there. Yes, Rocky, I saw quite a number of your fights, and I must say I enjoyed watching a man that knows his trade like you do, and the heart that you have. My goodness.
Thank you, Don. And you know, I know one thing. You're a great sports fan. Now, not only boxing and golf, pro football,
yes,
baseball,
yes.
But I know that you have a lot to do with horses. In fact, they tell me you know that trade pretty well.
Well, I know some aspects of it fairly well, Rocky. By that I mean that I don't go to the races a great deal. I go only to see big races anymore because I enjoy watching quality horses run. But I'm interested primarily in the breeding of horses. By that I mean I like to try and put certain strains together. I have 2 brood mares, and I have 2 little babies, and I have a yearling. And aside from the genetic standpoint, which I study a great deal, I'm also interested in the nourishment of horses, and I think that's probably something that you were interested in, especially
yes.
when you were fighting. You know how much food means to a fellow like you, and vitamins. And I just don't think that there's been quite enough research the work done on the feeding of animals, and I have employed a nutrition service company and go into kind of special feeding of horses, try and build a better one.
Don, you're in such good physical shape. You know, really, I feel a little bit bad because I'm a little heavy here, and you look so fine, just as like you were in the movies, in the same weight. Haven't you ever put on a couple of pounds?
Well, I have, Rocky, but whenever I do put on more than 2 or 3, well, I take it off.
Uh-huh.
I weigh about the same as I did 25 years ago.
What do you do?
Well, I take sitting up exercises every morning, or practically every morning. I might miss a day every 2 weeks, something like that. Mm-hmm. And in New York, where I don't play any golf, I used to be a real golf fiend. In New York, I walk. I walk anywhere from 2 to 6, 7 miles a day, just rolling around the streets. That's
a forgotten habit. You know, I used to do a lot of walking while I was training, Don, but getting into this television field now, I don't do as much walking as I should. No. You can lose it, you know.
Speaking of keeping in shape, Rock, I got a kick out of watching Gary Player, the fellow that won the Masters this year, doing an exercise that strengthens his hands. It was on a TV show. He was showing it. He was doing push-ups with his fingertips, just off his fingertips, down like this. I wouldn't even try. There's no sense. Can you imagine that?
How many could he do?
Well, watching him on the show, I would have to estimate that he did in the neighborhood of 25 and was still going strong at the end of 25.
We did it like this.
Oh, yes, I used to do that, too.
Maybe 10, you know.
I can understand why he would do that, because of the importance of the strength in a man's hand and wrist. I'm talking about for a golfer.
That'll get 10 more yards, won't it?
Oh, Rocky, the distance of a golf ball depends entirely upon the speed at which the club head is traveling when it comes in contact with the ball. And gee, at the risk of sounding like a fellow that knows something about golf, I'll try and explain to you that a lot of people think that it's the left hand with which you hit, but this isn't true. The left hand is really a guide. It's when you get down into here and here where they snap the wrist right in through here is where they get the speed coming into, and of course that the speed all comes from the whip with which you use your right hand in the shot.
There's the bell for the main event. A 10-round welterweight bout between Carmen Basilio against Pete Mueller. Pete Mueller is the German middleweight champ and very anxious to win this one. It could make him the top contender for the crown. Syracuse, New York, 1955. Let me tell you about it as I saw it. Carmen Basilio has taken a gamble tonight. He's a top welterweight challenger, but he's in with a strong middleweight. A loss would really hurt. Here's Mueller. He's from Cologne, Germany, and he just doesn't care about anything. He's been in town only a couple of days, but he ran up a $2,000 phone bill and the hotel manager is right at ringside. Basilio just missed taking the title from Kid Gavilan a while back, but it made him. He used to be just a broke fighter, punching so he could make payments. Now he's a main eventer who wants big figures on his checks. To get those elbows down, Mueller, and block some of those punches, or this guy can ruin you. Your body is wide open. That's what happens when you pull away from punches. Basilio always works himself up before a fight. You could see that earlier tonight. He took a walk around town, and whenever somebody said hello to him, he just snarled. Still wide open when he gets inside. Give it to him good, Carmen. Dig in at him. See what I mean? You're backing away again. It's the easiest way in the world to get hurt. Here's Mueller going to the corner. Basilio's hands still have knife scars on them from the years when he chopped onions in the fields around there. He came up tough. A fight is a desperate thing. You're all alone and you can get killed. If you use 2 carpets on the floor, you don't have a chance. I'm telling you, you gotta be poor. Referee Kessler breaks them. Look out, Harry. Mueller got mad and flattened the referee in Germany one night. He pulled away again. Mueller has an agent, an American manager, and a German manager, and they're all here tonight. The German manager is his father-in-law. The guy was afraid of losing Mueller, so he had his daughter marry the fighter.